Oh
Yeah,
shit.
because what if I just say
The bot's
no
already
and
in
you
here.
The bot's in here.
It is.
So Hubert,
It is.
we decided on who we're using, right?
Y'all
Yeah.
niggas still deciding, bro? Fuck.
No. I'm just making sure. I'm just making sure.
Watching you like DM
Oh
Brandon.
wait, what are you guys thinking? What are you guys debating?
The tournament, bro.
Mm-mm.
It's
Yo,
unfortunately Crossverse, bro.
okay. What's the crossface? What's the topic? That's what I'm asking.
Unfortunately, these niggas are using Comp Mage, and Mid Hubert, we're using Comp Debater, nigga. What you know about that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yo, I do know something about that. I do know you guys
What
are
do you
know
know
about that.
about
Wait,
Whoa.
wait, Grace. Send me all the
Yo,
anti.
Ichi, you let
He
me
said
in. You
city.
let me in.
He
You let
said
me
city on
speak.
the anti.
Yo, we don't, yo. Don't get knowledge gift dog. You don't want that. You don't want that, TV. You don't want the knowledge gift.
All right. Our opening statement.
Yo,
All right, y'all. Shut up, nigga. Our
Yeah, everyone.
opening. You add
I would,
everybody.
but we already added everyone like 4 times today. If I do
Oh, it's
that,
for the
I don't know how to get
tournament,
in
bro.
trouble
What?
for it. I know, but I feel like I'd get in trouble for it. I can't lie. But you know what? Just because.
No, bro.
niggas, who's gonna get you? Like, Punk
You
Rider's
get in
gonna kill
trouble
you,
for
bro.
joining
That was
the
so
event.
cool. That was so cool shit. All right, bet. Okay. Yo, can you shut up, nigga?
or wait, or wait, or wait.
Who the fuck
Okay,
is this nigga?
Hey, maybe
get
maybe
a
Okay,
he's
meeting.
saying that everyone
Get a
knows.
meeting.
okay then.
Looking like a monkey.
I server muted that nigga like, bro.
All right. What is it called? My opening. Yo, Deadboy, you there?
Yeah, crank that shit, man.
I bet that, bro. Our opening statement, well, for the recording is me versus these two guys. Comp mages versus comp debaters. Our opening is simply going to be that the mages have this ability called like delusion, and basically how it works is that they deny the existence of everything external towards them and towards reality itself. So to the point that whatever interacts with them or comes into interaction with them just gets power nullified, and I believe erased out of existence. And this ability is also passive.
There's a more in depth you can go into the ability too, but that's just a baseline, displaying of it.
Now, before you guys
So your
explain,
entire like opening is that you use this ability, and the fact
no,
that
no,
you
no,
use
no,
this
no, no,
ability,
no, no, no,
it's
no,
like a
no,
resist one con.
no. It's not like
No, that's not.
it's
No,
not used because
it manifests as basically to delude, and they pervert everything out of reality, any circumstance to them, and basically circumstances become like blind and deaf to them. Same
Can you send
way
a scan of
you
that, by the
can't
way?
yell. Yeah, go ahead. You can send a scan trouble. Same way you can't like yell like at a deaf person. Same way you
look,
can't like really like flip off a blind person or wouldn't affect them. Like it'd be the same thing for like circumstances to the
Yeah,
so
mage.
send a
look
scan
at
and read
scans
over the
chat, right?
scan.
So those are the scans that it's passive, and then for the ability itself, just give me 1 second. I gotta go grab it.
I mean, the ability itself, even on, is going to show you it's passive. You're going to see it though. You pay
And like
attention to crowd level 4 and 5.
they're always in like this state of worrying. Ooh, that was a high tier ass word, nigga.
Yeah, I'm asking your win con. Is it just out hoxing us? Is that it? Like, do you have any like scaling for the character, or like is it
Well,
just
it's more so like if you
Well,
guys
it's
can't get
just
past this ability, then like we do believe that it would be sufficient for them winning.
Yeah, we could just still man the scaling for now. You can get into it later if it becomes relevant. But I don't think that y'all even be able to get past this ability.
Yeah.
My
So next,
personal
I
opinion.
feel like some evidence that comp debaters. Also, this for clarification, you guys don't mind treating comp debaters as like fictional characters that have like these quote
yeah?
unquote.
We were gonna do that to begin with,
Okay.
realistically.
Yeah. Just so we don't
yeah.
get like any confusion. All right, look in
So
scans
is this
chat
a?
for the.
Oh, okay. You guys
Yeah,
don't
be
want to
quiet,
say
nigga.
it.
Be quiet, nigga. Be quiet,
Okay,
nigga.
catch up, nigga.
Oh shit! Oh shit! I fell.
What?
All right. There's a scan, bro. There's a
This
scan, bro.
nigga's
There's
so
a scan.
fat.
Yeah, I fell on the stairs.
You're not real.
Yeah, pay attention to the 3 and
Uh,
4 and anything after that too.
Yeah, 3 and 4, 5, 6,
Seven. Ugh.
6
Yo, Hubert,
is.
read the scans. Round two, black.
Nigga, shit's blonde. It's fucking bright. Alright, bro. As a not grow stronger, if it says as little brightness or
Your mic
depth.
is kind of low, bro.
Nigga, each read that shit yourself, bro. I'm not reading shit out loud, bro. I'm gonna read it shit myself.
Bruh, not out loud. I think okay, bro. Oh
Lazy ass
my
niggas, bro.
god.
Lazy ass niggas, bro. Damn.
The manifest literal blindness or deafness, circumstantial, anything. So this is like mind hacks. Higher levels of quiet denial can reshape the world. So it's like passive EE, power null, and fucking mind hacks.
There's more to it, but that's what you interpreted so far. Yeah.
Is it like
If I need to establish anything more from that scan, if I don't think you can respond, then I will. Well, based off that, that's what I'm going with for now. Yeah.
yeah, okay. I'll just say disability just wouldn't work on my character. They just resist the EE. Um even if it's passive, like I don't think that matters much. I think
It's not
you can get
necessarily.
passive ability.
It's not necessarily just EE. It's like the phenomena and circumstances that you try to do to my character won't work. That's just the easier way to explain it. Well, addition into that, there is existence erasure on top of that property, but the main property is that you're not even able to really hurt or harm or do anything significant at all to my character. Since my character
A good
deludes
analogy.
and
Is that? Are you getting that from
Uh,
the 3
no,
4
just
denial part where it's little
yeah,
blindness and death to circumstances? Is that where you're getting that from?
yeah.
Okay.
and final mistakes. I think to add on to that, to give like a better analogy, just think of like a being that like is immutable in the sense of nature, to where whatever you do, you can't really interact with this. Like if I try and like apply like I don't know like fire onto them, it's not gonna change them. If I try and like
But
throw a bomb or throw a nuke at them, it's not gonna change them because they can't be
But,
changed.
but
And
hold on.
then
Hold on, trouble. Before that, let's. He said it's something we gotta low key address. So,
oh
can
yeah,
you show scans of your character resisting EE? That's what the
yeah.
argument. That's the claim you made, right?
Yeah, we can show this. Hold up, give me a
I'm
second.
not gonna say yeah.
He
If you
said it can
did
only
that, we-
like resist
Yeah.
passiveness.
Are
Just
you
show
about
those
the
things.
scans?
Yeah, like the fact that wait, trouble. The issue with like the passive thing is like, okay, even if you say that this thing is passive, the fact that you can resist the ability is what matters more. It's like, for instance, if I have a passive death ability, like you don't need to resist the passiveness. All you need to resist is like the ability itself.
All right.
That's common
I mean,
sense.
you could just show the scans. I
Yeah.
agree to that. If you have some type of resistance to that ability, but I think it depends on the context of what's the specifics of the ability that's used against that character. But we can talk about that though. We can just send the scan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ichi on the
okay.
there's more Ichis
What do you
there.
say, Hubert?
Grab the scan. I don't know where it's at. I don't use
Bruh,
these
I'm
exactly.
looking, bruh. Hold up. Let me see.
It was a,
Which one do I want to use?
I wanted to use Goku low key.
What scan do I want to use?
Are you using triple threat
This
combo?
shit might be gay, bruh. Should be funny.
And what's the time limit on this debate?
I
30
think it's
minutes.
like an hour 30. I think.
Let's just have like 30, 30, 40, bro, at max.
30, 40, yeah. Please.
You said when?
30,
30.
40 minutes.
30, 40 minutes? Okay, I'll take that. I'm not trying to go further anyways. Let's see. What do I want to use here?
Wait, not Ichi.
What?
You could use that.
Use that? yeah. You're right. You're right.
Nigga, you said that.
I did say that, but that's right. Okay, I'll just use this one. This one's kind of freaky, but I'll use this one.
All right, bet
Do you
that.
agree if like you transcend like the concept of just like non-existence and existence, you'd have like an inherent like resistance to like something
Hold
like
on.
existence eraser?
Hold on. Your
Mm,
character. Wait. Hold on. Just hold on. But your character transcends the concept of existence and non-existence.
Not necessarily. He's like kinda, but not really.
I
He's
mean,
like
so if he
Well,
doesn't necessarily, then I don't care to answer that initial question.
no.
I
I'm
only
saying
answer
like
the.
he's no. I'm saying like let's say he transcends it in a way where he kind of exists and doesn't exist. He doesn't. He's not actually like beyond all concepts that
okay, wait,
exist
hold on.
within
Hold
him.
on. Okay, wait,
So
hold
he's
on.
not transcending the concept. You're just saying your character exists and he doesn't exist. That's all you're saying.
He's like
Yeah,
describing
pretty
a
much.
cat.
Oh, okay, hold on. It's more so like your character has like some sort of independency towards life and death. But from what you're describing, like for example, like is it in the sense where like the guy is like somewhat physical and non-physical, or like he's alive and dead? Like what
That's what
exactly
I'm
is it?
As
saying.
in, he
Give
has
the
a
context.
non-existent physiology. Like
Yeah,
he literally just doesn't
like
exist. He's a
So
non-existent
Ichi,
being.
would you
that
say for a
doesn't
key
tell us
for
that,
like
like
a destroying cat?
He said
What do you
what?
say?
Like Alucard, for example, or housing.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh,
For
well,
instance, like
well,
something like
well, hold
Alucard.
on. With
I just think
Alucard,
Alucard is dead. I don't know of him to be what you're describing it to be. I mean, can you just send the
yeah,
scans first before we
yeah,
Yeah,
start?
I can see. Yeah,
Maybe I'll
yeah.
come to a better interpretation on my own before I agree to anything else.
yeah.
Where the fuck is the Rat Ranger scan, bruh? Most of the Rat Rangers are non-existent. Where's that shit?
Oh, I got this. Ooh, shout out to Oshi, man. Shout out to Oshi.
Non-existent.
Timmy's so stupid, bro. Yeah, bro. Can you hurry up and get the scan, bro?
Yeah, hurry, bruh. I just said I'm getting the one that says the Rat Rangers are non-existent, bro. I was looking at the message.
All right, my bad. My bad.
Forward. What server we're in? Power scaling.
Yeah.
Okay. It scans. Yeah, the statement from me, which would just say most of the Rat Rangers are non-existent, and since we're using comp debater, that would mean that at least some debaters are existent and some debaters are non-existent. So comp debater
Well,
as a whole would have properties of existence and non-existence.
I mean, it wouldn't matter. Like, are they non-existent? Like, I think this is
Yeah,
just.
like
I think it's too vague. It's too vague. It doesn't give us an answer. Because, like, I can say like a zombie doesn't physically exist in a sense to where like
Uh,
it's like their biology is just fucking dead, but there's still like existence in the sense where like
I'm
they
gonna
could be.
say, what exists means like by definition, right? It just means like to have an actual being or be present
Yeah.
in the world or to appear.
yes,
So
to have like
Yeah,
necessarily
it's
things
antithesis of
be
that.
the most direct, which is usually organic life. Is usually what it's like, usually interpreted for. So I'm asking just like what's the interpretation? Because are you
And then
talking about like the abstract concept of that? So the
no,
abstract
no,
meaning
no,
of
no. I'm
exist?
saying no, no. I'm saying that okay, you can't apply that to something like a zombie because even though it is dead, it still exists as like a physical thing. Even if we take the definition of exist as to have actual being, so, to non-exist would just mean to not actually have being within the world.
oh,
You
no,
can't
no,
have,
no,
you
no,
can't be
no,
present.
no. Like, okay, like for example, like we can
Yeah,
say
what?
concepts are like non-existent things towards like reality, to where like they don't have like any physical
Yeah, I'm
hold
about
over.
to say.
Like they
Yeah,
still have like a,
because the
as long as
definition
it
of
as
good.
long as it's like a ontology or a mode of being, like a mode of being isn't limited towards like strictly
Yeah,
exist non-existent entity can have like
that's what I'm saying. It's vague. Like, are you talking about like the figurative description?
Yo, ichi.
So you're talking about things that like I
What did
have
you
no
say here?
tangible proof, or are you talking about like tangible concepts that have no tangible proof of existing, or are you
yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about like an absence of
Then
existing?
like another thing I wanted to
Uh,
say, when you say like count debaters existence and non-existence, I think all that is to really say is just that you have two characters. One character does physically exist, and then like another character, uh, what is it? Quote unquote. We're still like ambiguous on like how like this non-existence is. So like I don't really think that means much in the grand scheme of things. And then it's like, are you gonna strictly stick to non-existent characters, or are you gonna switch between existence and non-existence?
I'm just saying it has the properties of both. Therefore, you can't erase the
That
character
goes
because it
yeah,
has
that
these
goes
properties.
circular. That goes circular. And then it also
Wait,
presupposes
so
like our ability is limited towards like some lower scope of non-existence.
do
No,
you
no, no.
repeat the
I'm
argument
asking.
there?
Okay, okay. Then you have to
Like,
extrapolate upon like the scope of the ability
Hold on, yeah, well,
and
hold on,
how
hold on,
far
we'll
can
do
it
that.
erase you.
Yeah, hold on. We can do that, but before we do that, we need further clarification upon
Yeah, I need
how
further
circular.
clarification because
Yeah.
Okay,
I just
okay.
don't
Let's
understand
say
how you
let's.
come into this certain conclusion based off the scan. That's
Oh,
what I'm trying
okay,
to say.
okay. Even if okay, if we say that you don't exist in like let's say like a idea sense where you have you're present in reality and like physical and you're also non-physical even then, like I'll just like want proof that your ability can work on something of that level.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so you're saying things that are non-physical. That's what you're trying to say. That's all you're
not
saying. Things that are
necessarily. It
not
non-physical.
can be like
inherently.
that, but it would
It's
also be
non-physical in the
something like
sense.
it could be like conceptual in a conceptual sense, more like.
Yeah,
Well, you
so
keep saying it could be,
it's
but
just
you're not
about a
giving me a
thing for glass.
definitive. You're not
Yeah.
Yeah,
giving me
yeah.
a
I mean, like
definitive.
it.
You're not giving me a definitive scope for me to actually attack. So I'm not going to look up scans for both of these certain things. You're
No,
not
no, no,
actually
no, no.
applying.
Dead boy.
You're not attributing these certain characteristics to your actual character. So
Yeah, but
based off what
I'm
we're
saying it
describing,
would at
what are the
least. I'm saying it
characteristics
would
of
at
your
least be a
characters that
conceptual sense. It would at least be a conceptual sense because
why
Why?
is it
if you
why
don't
is it the least
exist,
option? Why is it the least option you come to the conclusion for? Why is it at least
yeah,
conceptual? That's what I'm asking you.
What
yeah.
would be
I'm,
lower
I'm
than that
getting to
though?
that. because okay, all things within reality would have to be some like, let's say for instance, anything in reality, but anything that would be bound by space. You agree to that?
You said what?
Anything in reality would be all things bound by space. That's all things in reality. It would be like all physical,
When it comes,
all
uh,
spatial
Material
things.
composition thing.
no. When it comes to like fiction, like versus metaphysics, like we don't know, bro. Like for
You
one
don't
verse,
know
for
that.
example,
I'm
Yeah,
gonna,
because
I'm
the
gonna say
standard would be
I'm
anything
talking
that
about.
has
I'm
a
talking
verse,
about. I'm
right?
talking about in our verse. In our verse, I don't really agree with that notation. So I don't
okay,
know.
like within
I
deep.
only
I
have
mean,
knowledge
but this
upon my
would be the
verse.
case
So
that all physical composition would just be the baseline, right?
Wait, you said
Yeah, we're
what?
what?
talking about the baseline.
For like a baseline standard universe, reality would just be all material
We
composition.
don't know. We
Baseline.
don't know. We don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, and in terms of
You do
our
know
verse,
that
we
because you
don't
base it
know.
off of our reality, which is just all physical comprehension.
I
No,
mean, I
no,
don't think.
no.
You don't think what?
What you said?
You say no, but I don't hear like a natural response for either of you.
Yeah, you're saying usually you're basing it off of this. Are you talking about our reality?
Yeah, so
I
when
don't
we take
think
a
our
random
reality
verse and
holds
we talk
bearing in
about
this
how big
conversation.
the universe is, only
Uh,
VSBW, and in general, the standard
That's
definition
a false
for the
equivalence.
universe would
that's
Equivalence.
that's not false
I'm about to
equivalence for our
say.
universe.
Okay, that's saying that because our reality seems to be structured in this way, and we have like this category that goes based off our reality, it should be automatically assumed that it has some necessary trait or property of what's already true for us.
What,
When in the case of fiction, we just know, for example, if in DC, it's just stated that clouds contain like abstract notions of infinities, or like the stars, like
I'm
non-physical
about to
markers.
Yeah,
say,
that's not
I know,
I don't
in
I
World
don't
of
agree with that
Well, I know in
at
World of
all
Darkness,
because
the
the argument
fundamentals
is
of
that
our universe
the
are
baseline
different in the World
universe
of Darkness.
Yeah, I feel
your
like when it
the
comes to like
baseline universe
wait,
would
wait,
be
wait, wait,
ours,
wait, just
right?
hold
But
on,
no, because
just
your
hold on, just
argument
hold on,
no,
just hold on,
because
just hold on, just
you're
hold on,
not
just hold on,
what
just
we're
hold on,
talking
just hold on,
about.
just hold on, just hold
Because the
on.
argument you're making would be something that have to be attributed to the verse for it to make sense. But as a
Okay,
baseline,
but
it would be
what I'm
clouds in
telling
DC, clouds in real life aren't
what I'm
aren't
telling you,
right?
what I'm telling you is you're attributing real life to our verse when we've already told you a multitude of times our verse does
Yeah,
not
yeah.
follow these
We're not
fundamentals.
talking about.
We're
Wait.
saying that.
First, you have like a misrepresentation. We're not talking about your verse. Like we're just saying as a baseline, when we're talking about
No,
something that would be non-existent or something that would have these properties,
no.
we'd have to give it some like IRL baseline instead of like
Uh,
attributing it to like your verse's properties because its properties obviously can
no,
be different from IRL,
no,
which
that's
is
not
an
what I'm saying.
exception
You'll
here.
add external
No,
properties
no, no,
Which is an
no, no,
exception
no,
to the
we're saying,
rule.
unless your
no, we're
verse says
saying,
otherwise, which your verse does, which is fine. But in a
wait, our
standard
verse is what?
vacuum, it would just be comparable to ours. Is what we're saying.
Well, no, okay, no. We're not saying like in reference to our verse. We're saying in regards to any single verse that we examine, it's always going to be contextualized how the author drew out the metaphysics. So when it comes to like high tier crosswords and how these verses typically work, we're not going to automatically necessarily assume that the base default reality is something rooted in material composition unless it's explicitly shown to us. Like I can list out a few
No,
verses where
that's not true
material
at all.
reality.
It's
No,
obviously it's
you
actually
got
the
it backwards.
contrary. Uh,
That's backwards. Because even on VSBW, the base default for all universe will be just the observable universe, which is ours, until the verse states something otherwise, which makes the verse bigger or the physics are different.
I
So we
mean, if
don't
we're talking
think
about
like that. Even when it
high
goes to
tier
third dimension, no,
characters,
it's not how it works.
if we're talking about high tier characters, it's already like presumed that the underlining is different and the verse will be bigger. There's already
Yeah.
the
Well,
underlining
none of our
assumption.
characters are high tier. We don't have no AP scaling to even have to put forth. But even for that
Well,
case, like you could have an
that's just
observable
like
universe
writing.
and still have a high tier character in a normal universe, right?
So your
Like for
character's
our
like
universe, we
universe.
have
So your character's like universal.
I mean, we're not on that point right now. But
I'm
we're
just
just talking about
asking.
we're not. I mean,
Well, like,
I'm just
what does
asking
that
'cause
mean? Like,
that maybe will come a point later. Like when you say that, and then you get
what
yeah,
does
into
that
but
certain
mean
we
when
can
tiers.
we'll talk
I'm
about
about to
that when
say,
we're
yeah.
talking
I
about
we
think
can
that was
talk
just
about
like
that when we
false
get
for.
there, but
back
I
let's
think
just
that
say as a
I just think
baseline,
that caused an error within the debate. Because I'm just asking for
wait,
clarification. So is your
yeah,
verse not bigger than the regular verse? Like, are you trying to attribute that your verse is the same in
that's
terms
not
of
enough.
scale to
no, we're
ours?
talking
That's what I'm
about the
asking.
hack. We're talking about when we're talking about the hacks being non-existent to non-existent theology, wherever it is. For a vacuum verse, this will be the case, and our character will operate on that.
Well,
So we are
obviously,
asking
okay,
you,
well,
can
hold on,
your
hold
hack
on.
affect a
That's
character that could do that as a baseline?
that's not a valid argument because like all you're really
Why is
saying
that
is
not a valid
that
argument?
okay, yeah, because all you're saying is that you have a vacuum and then you're just adding in these things. Okay, I can take the negation and say, yeah, I have a
What are we
vacuum
adding
here.
in?
Then what else? Stop. The material composition thing. That's the whole point. Like, we can take the negation and say, yeah, in a vacuum, a verse can have these exact same things, but reality not be rooted in composition or not necessarily be rooted in material composition, unless giving other proof or evidence. It's a more parsimonious position compared to yours. Like we're just saying,
okay, trouble. If we say that reality is not rooted in material composition and we take your route, then something non-existent would be just, let's say, for instance, your reality includes like conceptual properties. Something that would be non-existent would just be unincluded and lack conceptual and physical properties. So either it would be a route where reality would be rooted in physical properties and a non-existent being could just have some conceptual properties,
Not, not,
but
not,
reality is
not,
rooted within
not,
conceptual
not,
and
necessarily,
physical,
not,
and
not,
reality
not,
is something non-existent within
not,
those things.
hold on, not necessarily. I think that's a case of a black and white fallacy. I don't think it's an either or situation. I think it depends on how the verse and the context of
Yeah,
the
like that's kind of what you're
cosmology
saying.
is described. I don't
Yeah.
think it's a either
So
or. It would be this
within
if it has to be this. I think a
yeah,
verse can have their own
sure.
different ways to establish a certain rules and postulates of how they want to run the verse. So I just think that's a blatant black and white fallacy you just committed.
No, it's
Sure.
not a black and white fallacy at all
Hold on, just
because
hold on, just hold on, just hold on, just hold on, just hold on. To further add on to that, it's like a mini value thing, right? Like we're not saying that it's either physical or conceptual. It can be like an infinite amount of things, but without given evidence, we just simply don't know. But with given evidence, it can be dumbed down towards five things or two things, right? It's we need empirical
yeah,
basis.
I know you're trying to say it's a mini value thing. I'm saying it's not a black and white fallacy because the only thing is things that can be rooted in just either be, let's say, something physical, something non-physical in terms of spiritual, or something like non-physical conceptual. So if reality as a baseline, or at least what we say reality as a
You
baseline
just
in most
restated the
verses.
same claim.
Yeah,
You
you
just
just
restated
went
the same
Wait,
claim.
let me finish. Let me
circular.
finish.
That's literally circular. You just
Yeah,
restated the
that's
same claim.
circular.
No, let me finish.
That's
I'm
literally
saying
you
that
just
it
the
can
same
be
thing.
many valued, but the
No, it
fact
can't
that
be evaluated because, for example, like
no, no,
reality.
no,
Hold on,
no.
hold on,
I'm
hold on,
saying that.
hold on,
Hmm?
hold on. Like ignoring like physical and conceptual things, non-existence can be a reference towards that of like the negation of being itself, or God lacking like certain attributes or things about like His ontology. Right? It doesn't have to be a reference towards physicality. Like we can throw that out the window entirely. Even conceptual things, you can also throw that out the window entirely. Like non-existence isn't necessarily limited towards those things.
What do you talk about? The non-existence as a baseline. Even if we like go under, like, let's say for instance, like,
Okay, why are we saying
obviously the
baseline?
rules say we go
What
under versus
is
battle wiki, but
baseline?
non-existence is three different things, bro. It's either going to be some material non-existence, it's either going to be conceptual non-existence, or it's going to be some logical non-existence.
Why is that?
That's what we're like. We only have
Why
those
is that the
three.
case? Why is that the case 100% of the time? That's what I keep trying to tell you. When fiction, different fictions that you attribute that your characters from a fiction can operate, have different ways to operate a different specific verse. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like you're trying
Like
to
for
establish,
example,
you're trying to establish that the author must do these certain things. But that's not the case. You don't have
yeah.
the
Yeah, we know
authority
it's
nor
not the
the
case, but in
power.
terms of like,
You don't have the authority nor the power to attribute that. Like a verse can
wait,
just
we
physically
know that
operate fundamentally
we
differently.
know there can be other examples in certain fictions, but the issue is how the tourney runs. We'd have to go about the very definition, or at least the definition of non-existent physiology that they give us for versus battle wiki, which is only those three options.
Was that part of the
Yeah.
rules? Was
So
that
if
part
you're
of the rules?
Yes,
yeah, that is the rule. This
Okay,
we
was
have to
hold on,
agree
hold
to
on, hold
versus
on,
this was
hold
a
on,
battle
big
hold
wiki and
on,
topic
like
hold
during
on.
the
all
Crow
the things on
debate.
the site.
Just hold on, just
Yeah,
hold
this
on.
was settled during the Crow debate.
Just hold on, bro. We're gonna go read this page, and then we're gonna like get back.
Refers to
Non-existent.
the ability that lacks certain aspects of one's existence, but paradoxically exists yet lack certain identifiable traits of existence. So the same thing we were trying to attribute earlier, like what was the to the extent, you know what I'm trying
Yeah, but
to
there's three different things. There's three different ones it would be.
while true non-existence in the philosophical sense is impossible to prove, lesser forms of that idea appear often in fiction. Creators and authors often exist something beyond the normal scope of physical and metaphysical worlds, instead exists the idea of a future state.
Wait, did this prove the point? It said which aspect of these characters are non-existence in spiritual non-existence, conceptual non-existence, mental non-existence, information non-existence, and others. So that just proves our point. We don't know which nature of non-existence this is. Like it can be like five different things, like we said. It's not limited to just one or two things. For example, it could
That's why I
be
asked for further clarification what your character had from the jump, so we can actually give an attack or rebuttal. But we cannot give an attack or rebuttal if you're not giving us certain information
no,
we need.
it would be this, right? There's three categories, right? You have binary existence, where it's equal one equal life, zero equal non-existence. Then you have paradoxical existence, which gets into like I guess like dualities, like idealistic things, like the fucking binary nigga from Marvel. And then logical paraconsistency, where it's just like this character isn't confined to something identity. And different sub classifications within that, what you're referring to, is just the spiritual to then what is it? Manipulation information. So like information on existence, like a character lacks information about their being and it can still exist without needing this information except of their being. So like what exactly is like these rat rangers not existed in?
I think the Rat
Uh,
Rangers thing would just be the first one, type one. To be honest, because like these people,
In what manner? In what manner?
In what manner? Like their ontology? So, let me pull up
No,
the
no,
two.
that doesn't
Yeah, let
answer
me
the
pull it up. Let me put it up, bro. I don't have it open.
question. No, my
What you
bad.
mean by type one material non-existence?
Yeah,
Yeah.
material non-existence. The character doesn't exist in the conventional sense in terms of a binary. There should be zero where existence is one and non-existence is zero. In simple terms, that means that the characters simply lack that aspect in the same way that a stone lacks a soul. So they just lack the ability of being able to be killed, like an immortality type of thing.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Which will
Yeah.
also grant them. Yeah, like the thing was, will your ability work on someone who has something like that? Because people
That
like
that's
that
just it's just
would inherently
immortal.
have resistance to EE as well,
Okay, hold on. Okay, so hold on. Is your
which was the point.
character non-existence in the sense to where they won't die from physiology means? Like, is it that?
Wait, my bad. Can you read that?
I said, is your character like non-existent in the sense to where, like, for example, Homelander or Soldier, but like they won't ever be killed by anything physical. Like, I can't take a gun and like try and kill these people. But if I take like the idea of non-existence and put it onto them, then they just get poofed out of existence. So like if it's material, then that concedes that it is physical, and if it is physical, then it wouldn't matter is actually physical.
Charge
If
over
it's
it.
material, then it is physical.
Okay, if it's material, then that means that your character is a physical and tangible being, right? This non-existence isn't
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to be anything conceptual, non-physical. So then, different forms of physical non-existence would be a zombie, as is in a state of life or death, or a
Huh?
being that is immortal, but the immortality can be classified towards different things, which we need to get into. So that's what I'm asking. Like, as they just like immortal, are they like non-linear towards time or something? Like, what exactly are we dealing with?
How do I word this? Let me retype one real quick. So it's like how you explain it? It's like similar to like like someone who's omnipresent everywhere, but nowhere at the same time. So
No,
it is.
okay, no, no,
Yeah,
no.
yes. Wait.
That's not analogous. It's not analogous. It's not analogous
Okay,
at
why
all.
is that not analogous? Because it's the same
Okay,
thing. Because
it's
instead of
not the same
attributing the
thing.
fact that they're everywhere, nowhere, it's just they exist here, but they're also not here at the same time. That's the one and zero
But
that we're
no,
talking
that doesn't tell me that. No, okay, that one and zero is reference to binary. So that's not literally saying that they exist in a room and then exist not in a room on a different fucking planet. That's just saying that when you take their ontology and examine it within life and death to the person that's examined within like a microscope, it's gonna look like they're like take two parallel lines, right? There's gonna be two parallel lines, right?
about. How are you
One's
getting
gonna
from
represent life, and then the other one's gonna
binary to
represent death.
macroscope?
You saw what?
How are you getting from binary to macroscopes? Like that doesn't even like correlate.
It's an analogy to represent things.
Yeah, that's not how binary works. That's fucking retarded.
Okay, when it's referencing, like when these are just referencing it, it's with reference to binary logic. Zero equals, what is it? No. One equals yes. Two parallel
I think
lines. One would represent.
we're just
Stop, stop,
referencing
stop, stop, stop,
the
stop, stop,
zero
stop,
is
stop, 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 stop,
zero
stop,
would
stop.
be
I'm not done.
non-existent.
I'm not
One
done. I'm
would
not
be
done.
the
I'm not done. I'm
existent
not
part.
done.
The
I'm
zero
not done.
is
I'm not done. I'm
by
not,
definition
I'm
the
not,
absence of
buddy,
something,
buddy.
right?
I'm not done,
That's
buddy.
what
I'm
we're
not
saying.
done, buddy. I'm
So
not
if that's
done,
the
buddy. I'm not
case,
done,
then when
buddy.
you
I'm
see
not done. I don't know why I'm speaking. I don't know why I'm speaking. I'm gonna dismiss that. So listen,
you can't
when
dismiss
reference
that,
towards
like that's
yeah, I mean,
logic.
I don't know why you're interrupting me like while I'm speaking and then trying to give an argument while I'm speaking, knowing that I'm not going to hear you. Like, just be calm and cordial.
Well, you definitely
So,
didn't hear me. So I don't know what you're
just
talking
stop,
about.
just stop. I didn't hear. I don't know what the fuck you said. You're just jibber jabbering in my ears. Just be
Okay, then
quiet.
that's
So, when
misgenre.
reference towards, I don't know why you're talking. Like, just be quiet. So, when
This is
reference
your
towards
argument.
physical existence binaries, it's just going to be that okay, a physical being in reference to one is going to have life, right? They have consciousness, they're breathing, etc., etc., etc. Right? They have mortality. Zero would then be that okay, this person no longer has mortality. They're in a state of death. Their body is physically decaying, etc., etc., etc. Like they have like a position.
I, I don't know if I agree
So
with that.
That's
Hey,
material,
let him finish. Let him finish. Go ahead.
like all we're saying is that the binary thing is not going to be mutually exclusive towards omnipresence, where a person exists across all points of a certain localized space, and then also don't. We're saying that okay, your character would quite literally exist right in front of us and wouldn't be anywhere else. Just their being wouldn't be localized towards the general notions of life and death. That's all.
You're trying to say like we transcend life and death, therefore we're like
No, no,
non-existent.
no, no, no. I'm saying that he said that it's comparable toward omnipresent, to where like they exist and don't exist. I said no. It's just that when examining these two things, this entity isn't really going to pop up, but they're still going to physically exist in front of my character. They're not going to be at any other point within space. They're going to be in one localized point.
Yeah, my character's not a causal, bro. I mean, yeah, they're not gonna be at any other point in like within
Okay,
space and
okay, okay.
time. But even wait, let me finish. Let
I
me
mean,
finish.
I don't know
Even
why you
if
use that analogy then. Why
Yeah,
would you
like
use
no,
that
no,
analogy then?
no. Okay, okay. The omnipresent thing, it only applies to like if my character exists across like some other temporal
we
point in
agree, we
time. But I'm
agree,
saying that
we agree.
no.
Like it's
Yeah,
only
yeah. I'm saying that my
That's
character,
the whole
okay,
point. That's the whole
even
point.
if
We're
he
saying it's not
exists,
analogous. We're saying
yeah,
based on what I described your character to be, using omnipresence as an analogy is not good. It's not
bro.
coinciding
I
with
think
the
he was
argument.
using it like as an example of like the Alucard shit, but it's really more like my character exists in space at that time, but they don't exist in space at that time. But regardless,
Your
like
character's a
uh
contradiction. Like what the fuck? What do you mean?
That's not a good analogy. Like you're describing
Not a good
physical
analogy. I don't know what
existence.
you're saying shit. It's like what? That doesn't mean he's still physical at the end
Okay,
of the day.
okay,
Of
hold on.
course.
Just answer our question. They have a physical means, right? Okay, the physical. Where is this non-existence coming from? Can they not be killed? Like, what is prohibiting them from being?
yeah, they're like as in okay, they have the physical means, but their body also does okay, how do I put this? Non-existent is it non-existent physiology works like this. So you exist, but you actually like don't exist, like you lack the properties of
Brother, we
actually
know,
being
brother.
existent.
Okay,
Like
brother. Okay,
you're there, but you lack
so
these properties
okay,
of
that's the
being
issue.
there.
That's the issue. The non-existence of being there is again contextualized to physicality, and physicality non-existence is just that, okay. When it comes to mortality, what can and cannot go against it? For example, can they survive a nuke? Are they immortal? Will they live forever? Are they
As in
invulnerable
my
to all
character,
physical
like
pain?
being erased would as in being erased wouldn't do anything to my character. That's I
Eraser,
like to
okay,
put it like that.
eraser,
Erased in what sense though? Physically erased,
As in
temporally erased, mentally erased. I'm trying to ask you.
like you can't
as
erase
in
their memories.
I'll just put a scope. Like my character can't like conceptual erasure is not working on these niggas.
Okay,
Based off
it
of okay,
will,
based
it
off of
will.
what basis? So it's on it. You
You,
see, when we asked you earlier, was it a conceptual level? You literally said no. It's not a conceptual
yeah,
level. So you don't even
yeah.
know. Like
No,
you're
no,
not
no,
even you
no,
don't know
no,
what you're
no.
trying to
As
establish.
in
So could
I only said like the conceptual thing in terms of like let's say for instance it was when you brought up the black and white fallacy. I was just like saying, oh, it's either this thing, that thing, or this thing, which helps my point. But yeah, my character can be erased by like can like regenerate and not be affected by conceptual things. We have this statement here where it's stated this character can regenerate from being erased, and then we have here where this character stated to like transcend the concept of death. So it's
Okay,
obvious that
hold
like
on. There's
this
two things.
person's already beyond certain these certain
Okay,
concepts to
hold
begin
on.
with.
There's two things. There's two things. One, he can regenerate from being erased. Okay. One, what part of him is being erased? And then two, where is the regeneration coming from? Like, can he, okay, like, he might be able to regenerate from, like, his finger being cut, but can he regenerate from, like, his literal, like, ontological essence
Bro,
being erased?
if this person is being like erased and they're like the body's being erased, what do you mean?
Just hold on. And then I transcend the concept of death in reference towards this comp derivative. How is death treated? Is death like this conceptual thing, or is death just like a thing of where a
where you
being is
die, you go, you like you die, you don't have
yeah,
an afterlife, like you don't have a soul.
yeah,
That's what I'm trying to ask. Like, is there, is like, because that just seems like type five immortality,
yeah,
undead. So your character's just
yeah.
undead. He's not able to be killed.
Undead immortality. Like this seems
Okay,
just
okay,
like
to kill the characters in these verses, in this verse, you'd have to be able to do some like sort of conceptual thing because we have certain debaters that are already above like uh many forms of concepts, like including like the concept of like how do I put this?
okay, well,
Rat.
hold on.
I can't say that. I can't. Whoa.
Okay, hold
Writing,
on.
for
Just
example.
hold on. Just hold on. Earlier, from like the very beginning of the debate, Tamaki said that this verse was rooted in reality, as it is in our verse, in the sense to where there exists like material and physical composition as like the baseline for reality.
When did I say
So,
that?
hold on, a concept in this sense might just be like a Aristotelian thing to where it's embedded in reality, to where like if I punch a hole in
No, we have
reality,
platonic concepts in this verse.
okay, prove that.
Yeah,
I
okay,
didn't
I
prove
got
that these cases are
it.
above the platonic concept. I didn't prove it's platonic in the sense for Plato refers to it.
Wait. If it's stated to be like a platonic form, then we're gonna assume it's gonna be like
What?
uh
No.
Okay,
Because
so
platonic
prove
can
about
mean.
that
Hold
case.
on. If I say like, oh, okay, if I say I have like a platonic friendship with deadboy, that's not going to mean like there exists some abstract notion of like the
That's
highest
analogous.
level of potency we mean that
that's
could be like.
that's not analogous to what I said.
Wait, deadboy,
Like when we talk about platonic, we also know other
No,
concepts we
no.
refer to as friendship.
Okay,
But when we
okay.
talk about platonic forms as in abstractional things, you know you're talking
Okay,
about the
hold on.
Greek
That
Plato.
presupposes that. Okay, that presupposes
Yeah,
that
that's the only thing
when
comes from Plato.
stop. That presupposes that when something is called platonic, it then means a platonic form.
No, we're not saying
I get
that.
that. You know,
Oh,
it's
okay,
just
we're not saying that the scan says platonic. We're saying that the scan
Can you just send the
blatantly says
scans
platonic.
first, bro? Can we send the scans
Yeah,
first before
yeah,
we
I
argue?
keep it first.
Like I said, we can come to our own interpretation based off what y'all saying. I want you to send all the scans for what you're referring to,
I
Yeah,
got
what
you.
you were talking about.
we'll just wait. We'll just wait.
Let's see. Let's see. Bro, I just sent this shit
No, I can't
recently.
regenerate from being a race. So like, man, again, that doesn't like
Yeah,
grant the meanings of what we were talking about based off the definitions and stuff that we applied. I mean, a race by definition just means remove, obliterate, or wipe something out.
yeah,
So it can apply to physical. Like it could be abstract, but just you have to give the basis of why it would be. I transcend the concept of death again. I already told you what that can mean. I just don't understand like how y'all appropriating to the levels y'all trying to say.
yeah.
I found it. We got
All
this
right.
scan where it says that Hubert is the platonic form of rat arguments, and to be able to erase that to begin with. So if Hubert is like can regenerate from being erased to begin with, to be able to erase him would mean you'd have to like affect this conceptual being. So the fact that he's
No.
regenerating is meaning he's regenerating from conceptual erasure.
One that presupposes that when Hubert was erased, like his whole entire composition was erased.
It doesn't matter. Look at his entire composition.
That's even presupposing
Stop.
that's the reason why he came back. He could just have a separate ability. There's like no reason he has to
you
face
have to
here
prove that
telling
though.
us that's the
Wait,
reason
hold on.
why.
You have to prove that.
That's the reason
Okay,
why he's
okay.
coming back. I
Oh,
don't
one thing I want
understand
to
why
say.
you just use those scans in conjunction, but I don't think they have any bearing with
Yeah,
each other.
yeah, another thing I want to say is that if we do agree, as like what came out of your own mouth, that the guy is a platonic concept and then got erased and came back, that was just disqualified from what a concept is. Or like a platonic concept can't be erased. It can't be put back into a state of non-existence. Like
What?
they're immutable. Platonic concepts in like spiritual metaphysics, it can't be. You can't erase them. They're immutable. So for
Yeah,
him to be,
wait. That's in the sense of metaphysics, but when we're talking about like, let's say fiction, for instance, we can bring up like the same fiction argument you brought up in terms of these verses. If you have like sets of phrase, for instance, a type one concept, these beings that can embody these type one concepts can still regenerate from these things
I
because
mean,
even
so
then,
what's the conceptual framework of your verse? And that's just a better
yeah,
question to go. So could you
yeah.
show me scans of what your conceptual framework of what a verse goes? Because what we agreed to earlier is we use the baseline unless the verse dictates us or shows us something differently. Y'all verse already dictated and showed us something differently than what you tried to apply earlier. So could you show any thing supporting like the conceptual framework of your verse to
the
appropriate why
conceptual
we type
framework would
one?
be like what exactly?
The metaphysics of the concepts, like how do the concepts work and function? Are concepts archetypal? Do they extend onto all reality? Are concepts materialized into existence itself? Where if you affect existence, you affect the concepts? Are they independent of existence? Like, what is the nature of these concepts? How does it work? How do they function?
We just have like a bunch of scans that they are
Wait, hold
platonic
on, wait,
concepts.
your
So
mic
I
cut out.
guess it would go by like some like platonic ideal or something.
Wait, no, hold on, your mic cut out. Can you just repeat it?
I said that the framework what we go by is probably like I guess in like a platonic sense because we have multiple statements that like people being platonic or platonic concepts existing within the verse. So I guess it
Well,
would
what do
be
you mean
Okay,
in
that,
platonic sense? I don't. That's not a
like
conceptual
type
framework.
one. Like I don't know how to explain like the
I
conceptual
mean,
framework.
maybe you should go look at it, then like come back and tell us that's not a conceptual framework.
yeah,
You just said in a platonic sense that it just doesn't make sense based off what both those words mean. It doesn't make sense, bro.
yeah. Conceptual manipulation. Uh, mm, type three. What is it? Type one.
There's there's independent universal concepts, dependent concepts, lesser fundamentals, non-qualifying. Like,
Alterations come. Okay,
uh,
yeah. Okay.
like is it dependent concepts? Or is it
Oh, it
independent
would be like type
universal?
one. Obviously, platonic concepts. I'm pretty sure they're either type one or type two. I don't remember something like that.
Oh, hold on, like,
Yeah,
what
they're
if
asymmetric
platonic? Like,
temporal.
I'm looking at this right. Like, if it were to be a platonic concept, like, it would be a thing above like a type one independent concept. Because all type one independent concept seems to be
No,
is
ichi.
just one conceptual inheritance for like all concepts, and then
Yeah,
two concepts
it's
are like
just a
archetypal. Like, this isn't really like platonic concepts. Like, it doesn't match that ontology. It's
No,
below
ichi.
it.
It's
Oh,
just their
Crossverse is
area influence. So like
Like
I said, yeah,
the concept is very
Okay. So if we're going by versus, wait, wait.
the example they gave is like Zeus, God of War, stuff like that.
like
Oblivion obviously represents the concept of nothingness.
yeah,
Like
like
you're
Okay,
just
if
saying
we're
like
going
Oblivion
by versus
represents
battle
concept.
wiki, if we're going by versus battle wiki, then you'd have to like lessen it, wouldn't we? We'd have to be like, oh, it would be like something independent universal because it says they.
no, no, we're not gonna lessen anything. We're just gonna say these aren't platonic concepts. Instead, they're just a different type of concept. We're not gonna agree it's platonic, but then lessen its ontology. It's
No,
not
no, no, no. The issue is like, okay, if we have a consistency that this thing is platonic, then
a question.
versus battle wiki. Wait, let me finish. In versus battle wiki doesn't outline something, or at least doesn't tell you or give you information about what something platonic would be. Then we outline it as okay,
Us.
what is the most similar thing to what a platonic concept would be? It would be like something that would be type one.
On the base default of the page, they have like Plato's theory of forms, and then you keep saying like, if it's like a consistency for like this verse having platonic concepts, that's not okay. All the scans you show, these keep saying that a concept is referred to as a platonic concept. That's not telling us the ontology of these platonic concepts. For example,
You mean
these
telling you the ontology? Wouldn't the ontology be the baseline of what like something platonic would be? We just like go back and say, okay, if something stated to be platonic, then we like agree that okay, it would have all the properties of a platonic concept, or at least most of the properties outlining something platonic. Because let's say it it's stated to be platonic and it does all things that are platonic, but it only lacks one property. That's fine. Like for instance, in my
okay,
case, it's platonic, but it can be erased. Obviously, true platonic concepts can't be erased. But in
uh,
this case, we have one different property, but the rest are the same. It'll be fine.
okay, well, that presupposes that within this verse, these concepts are immutable. They have conceptual inheritance. Not like we're asking for proof. I didn't know. I don't agree that if a verse just says platonic concept, it didn't has to have like all the particulars of
Yeah,
the
because
thing.
it could
I
just
can
have a
make
different
that.
interpretation. Like I don't understand why I would have to take it in a literal sense. I mean, based
Yeah.
off the composition of these texts, I'm not sure why I would take it in a literal sense. I would just challenge the knowledge of this other person. Like I don't know
Wait,
how he's
wait,
able
wait.
to.
Like,
And
I
that
don't
who's
know
would
how
saying
this
just be
person
like,
is able
that?
to make the statement
Wait, so
that this person
why?
is a platonic concept. I'm not sure why it's not more so in a figurative way.
So
Yeah.
why would so the reason you wouldn't take it literally is because there's a potentiality that could be misinterpreted a different way.
But how does that respond to the argument?
No, I'm asking for clarification on what you said, more so.
Well, what did you need clarification on?
So you're saying that you wouldn't take it literally because in the verse it could be misinterpreted on how the like, for example, the theory of forms is actually written,
That's
and
I
it could
never
be
those words
something
are never said in my mouth, bro. I never said
else.
that.
Okay, so can you clarify it?
And then I mean, what about what I said? These clarification. Like I just said, I
Clarify.
don't. I'm not understanding why I would take it literally and not based on the nature of the text. Why I would not take it in a figurative sense. Is what I said.
So you think it would be okay? So what interference
And
would
I
make it
don't and
true?
I don't understand why that person has the validity to make these certain absurd claims, which I feel like absurd claims mean a certain amount of evidence.
Okay, so for one, why would it be figuratively, and for two, why would it be at a certain plane?
You said why would it be figuratively?
Yeah.
Let me go check the scan real quick. Um, right here. So the reason why I would say it's figuratively is based off the context of the conversation. We know the context is just I would debate Tamaki, but Sam says he's too much of a rat. So obviously, the context is a person wanted to have a debate with someone, but they think that person is a rat. And then BRN Hunter says he's literally the top form of rat arguments. How I can interpret that as an alternative interpretation is him just saying, in a figurative sense, in a hyperbolic sense, that he's like this. He embodies ratting because he's so much of a rat. You could be so much good at ratting that a person can feel like you embodied it. But that doesn't mean that you actually embody that concept that they're talking about. That's the
That
figurative sense that we're talking about. I
that
think that's pretty much it. I think it's
issue
figurative
exclusive
speaking.
to like him being an actual conceptual archetype of a
You said
rat
well?
because your argument is that when he's saying that like Tamaki or whatever the fuck I didn't really that this person is so much of a rat that he literally embodies concept of rat, and you're just saying he's being
Yeah,
that
I said that
to
person I said in the text is
to
speaking
emphasize
figuratively.
how
Yes.
much of a rat he is, but at the same time, he could be the actual platonic form of a rat, and that also would attribute on how
But
much
why?
of he is a rat in
Based off of
general.
what though? I'm saying
Because
based off of what?
we know Bjorn Hunter is saying he is not figuratively saying he's literally the platonic form of rat, and you're trying to add extra context into it that or extra interpretation.
What do you mean extra context? It's not even extra. That's what happens. It's the
Okay,
context is
yeah,
he
and
responded.
we
He
read it at face
responded to
value
a
exactly what
person.
it says.
He
It says
responded
that
to a
he is
person saying, "I would
literally
debate
the
Tamaki,"
platonic
but
form of rat.
Sam
So
says he's too much of a rat. So
yeah,
obviously,
so
how I can interpret that using common sense is obviously Barry Hunter has seen you debate or debated you before, so he's making that statement based off what you previously able to do. That doesn't
that's
necessarily
not using
mean
common sense because
that's not it. Hold on, that's not
Bjorn Hunter
necessarily meaning,
is
but that's
knowledge
not
saying this
necessarily. I'm
character
understanding how I'm
is
coming
the
to the
platonic
conclusion
form
this
of a
character is
rat.
actually the embodiment of this
So
certain thing.
that doesn't make
I
sense.
understand why I can come to the
Like,
conclusion this
they
person is
can't
actually
what
this
you're
little
saying.
thing. Why the context of the conversation is obviously a Discord chat, and the person is just saying a person is like that in a certain hyperbolic sense. I already told you what figurative language they're speaking into.
Okay,
Yeah,
that
it
wouldn't
didn't
be
add on. Hold
understanding.
on, hold on. It didn't add on to that. Like within like literature, it's like a very common thing. Like for example, if somebody's like extremely evil, somebody could say, yeah, like they're like the embodiment of evil. But we're not literally saying this person is the literal conceptual embodiment of any and all things that participate in evil. It's just saying that this person is extremely, extremely, extremely evil, and because of that, you could, in a non-literal way, say that yeah, we could literally say like they're a concept or
Yeah,
something.
but you're
It's
saying not literal way, but the scan does and specifies the definition that it is
okay.
literally the
That's the
concept, right?
question. That's the
So if
question.
what
That's
you
not the
said, for
question.
example, if there's a
That's in
character
question, though. You're
that's so
coming to that interpretation
no, it's
based
not
off
a
of what,
question
though? I'm
because it's
coming
gonna be
to a
right there.
completely
Oh, okay,
different
okay, okay,
interpretation.
okay, okay. We have a basis for this. We have like another statement where Hubert literally like clarifies himself. He says he exists as long as Rat exists. So that's enough clarification to say, okay, he is this conceptual thing because as long as this all these particulars exist, he will exist along with them.
Okay,
So
okay,
that's enough
no.
clarification to back up him being this conceptual thing.
Wait, hold on. So if a human were to say, I exist as long as, what is it? Oxygen exists. Like, we're not going to say that human is inherently conceptual. It's just that it just seems to be that they have like this thing that they need to rely on. And then
Yeah,
obviously,
he's dependent upon this thing. Yeah, but we can say that okay.
okay,
It's
then what
enough
is, yeah,
clarification. Wait, let me finish. It's enough clarification here to add on to the initial claim that Hubert is this thing, rather than you just going out your way to say, "Oh, this person's dependent because
I
of
mean,
oxygen or this other
okay,
thing."
well,
This
hold on. Okay,
person
hold
I
on.
mean,
literally
I
have
don't think.
consistent things.
It'd be a
But
codependent.
I could just reverse the same argument
Yeah,
back
it's
on you. I don't
codependent.
think that's more so clarification. I think it could just be a long going figurative joke, as I've already gave the furthermore context that's added on the other scan to why the interpretation can still hold strong. So my
Well, what
interpretation can
arguments do
still
you have?
hold strong that you can still be well known in the community as a rat. So this can be like you, I don't know, I guess that type of long running joke that you're like the king rat or something like that, the embodiment rat.
And
But it
then
doesn't
like, then
act that
like,
doesn't actually again talk in actuality of you embodying the concept of this
and
thing.
then,
Like I said, it goes back to Trouble's example. This person's the embodiment of evil. You can go along with this certain thing, but that doesn't mean it actually is existing, or in the sense
and
that you're
then
trying to use it.
And then to add on to that, if it is the case that we were like hypothetically were to say, okay, yeah, this is conceptual, this wouldn't be a type one independent universal. Independent universals aren't contingent upon the things that they're giving, like I guess, like being towards. Like a platonic concept is it is the essence of what it like permeates throughout reality. It's not gonna be contingent upon the things from reality. Like if you just one shot the fucking universe, platonic concepts or independent universals, they're not gonna be affected. It's literally from the name. It's an independent thing of the universe. It's not contingent on it. But in these scans, what you guys are showing us, if we were to accept all of it, it's a contingent concept, meaning that it's not gonna be type one at all. Just like a type three, maybe type two.
Okay, okay,
And
okay.
then, and then,
You
and
know
then,
what?
and then hold on, wait. And then with that
Mhm.
voice there. And then like with that, so add that on to it.
So it's your argument and that boy. Right? Okay, I guess I'll attack yours first. No, I'll tie Dead Boys first. Okay, Dead Boys was it would just be a long running figurative joke in the community, blah blah. I don't think that would just require extra assumptions like to say that because we have enough information from multiple sources that this person is this thing. We have it from another source where a person says,
This
"Oh,
is a
they
question.
no, let me finish. They have fuck. We have the primary source himself saying that he's dependent upon all these sources of things to like even live to begin with. And we have from an outside source that this person embodies this thing. So it's more likely to say that this person would be a conceptual being rather than saying, let's say for instance, oh, it's a long
That's
running joke. Like that's like adds
that's
way
not
more assumptions to the claim. That
I'm
Also,
not more like
quantitatively, it would just
hold
be
on.
the case as well. By
no, that
being
wouldn't. Okay, hold on. That wouldn't be more likely, seeing as that. Okay, all we're saying is that You're saying these things equals conceptual. We're saying these things doesn't necessarily equal conceptual, but can still be physical. So to ask you, where's the distinction between what you guys are saying being mapped onto a physical being? Like, where's like the distinction? I think that cannot happen. Like, do you think it's impossible for a physical being to be the embodiment of evil in a sense where like a dictator that's just like killing everybody in their country, Hitler or fucking Stalin, right? We can say that these guys are the embodiment of evil, and 80 to 100 years later,
Wait,
in
wait,
history,
wait. So the issue with that is that you're presupposing that our being is some like sort of physical being to begin with, because we
no,
already
I'm
have
not, no, I'm not,
clarification.
I'm not, I'm
No,
not,
no, no,
I'm not,
no. We
I'm not.
already have
You're
clarification that our
straw
being
manning,
doesn't
hold on,
exist as
straw
something
manning.
physical.
Hold on, stop,
Wait, hold on,
straw
Ichi.
manning, straw manning. Hold on, one, we do at the very, very beginning. Okay, hold on, you guys straw manning. What I'm saying, I'm asking like a question. I'm not saying you guys' character is physical. I'm saying, why can't this, like the argument itself, be mapped onto a physical being? Where's the distinction?
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah, I know. I'm saying that the fact that our characters already clarified not to be a physical being, they have enough
That's
clarifications
the
from a
question. Okay,
primary source.
that's the
Hmm?
question. Because earlier, with like the whole non-existence thing, we agreed and we went over that non-existence is in reference towards physical things. These beings aren't conceptual entities that are non-existent. They're physical things that are non-existent or lack some property of a physical existence. In reference towards mortality,
Yes,
things like
okay, trouble. If they lack properties of physical existence, and we have another statement that these beings have a conceptual existence, it's more likely to say that, okay, we lack the aspects that make up physical properties because we have multiple clarification that these people need conceptual properties to live. Like,
okay. Can we just go to conclusions like that? Just
uh,
wait, hold on. I just have a question for you as well, TB. But so the dictator thing you was talking about, can you repeat that part real quick, please?
You said what?
yeah, they
The
would not.
dictator analogy he was talking about, a dictator being very evil, or something like that.
Yeah, they would. Do I repeat it,
Now,
bro?
I mean, bro, we
We
been
go to
debating for a
conclusions.
long time, bro.
Yeah,
We been debating
we
for
go
a
to.
yeah,
long time.
I'll
oh
also
yeah,
say,
we need like
also,
to map out our win
wait,
con too, bro. I
yeah,
can't
real
lie.
quick, yeah, real
Nah,
quick.
y'all
Where the
good, bro.
fuck
Y'all
did
good,
Gray?
bro. We can go to
Wait,
conclusions, bro.
off debate. Where the fuck did Gray go?
I don't know, bro. He's gonna judge that recording.
He said he's gonna like go to bed and judge the
I thought he
recording.
was supposed to be immediate. You know
Yeah,
what?
also we do need to put our win con down by the way. Like, I'll try
No,
to.
okay, like you guys, okay, like assuming that we got obliterated on every single point, you guys can win via like punching. Bro.
Yeah, if y'all beat us on every single point, then y'all win by we just losing.
On every
Yeah,
single point. I mean, that's
on
fine.
like on
So
every on
we won,
every
we won
single
two
point,
out of
bro.
UConn. So
Okay, just give out a win con, bro. That's gonna be contingent upon if we like the other points. Just give it a win
Okay,
con.
our win con is yo Huber. You want to do the win con?
Bro, we don't even got time for this shit, bro. We lost the
Like
points, bro.
Huber, do
Y'all
you
win.
want to do the win con or not, bro?
Yeah,
Like,
nigga, say the win con,
If we
bro.
lost the points, yeah, if we lost the points, y'all win the debate, bro.
Yeah, you guys don't need a win con. Gray doesn't judge like that, bro. We're not gonna say income because no fucking win cons, bro. We're not the Nugents, right?
Greg, that ass judges of who wins the debate.
Yeah. All right, bro. I'm gonna say the recording, bro.
I'm about to say.
Oh, I can't say the recording. You gotta
If
say
it
the
was a
recording.
different, if it was a different judge, I feel y'all. But the way Gray judges, he literally just judges off